Sunday, April 9th. 5 a.m. Thomas Wanninger Departure Terminal, Schönefeld Airport. Berlin. Thomas Wanninger. Yes. Traveling alone? Yes. First trip to Israel? Yes. Passport, please. I hand it over. He opens it. He looks at the passport photo, looks at me, looks at the photo. Born in Germany? Yes. What is the purpose of your visit? I'll be a volunteer at a kibbutz. Which kibbutz? Brashim. It is outside Jerusalem. Can you show me proof of that? I unzip my backpack and stick my hand in. I can feel the sports magazine, the guidebook. I look sideways inside. There is a pack of tissues, some stuff. From school I am supposed to read, chewing gum, junk. Where? Did I put the letter from the kibbutz? I see him watching me as if I'm some kind of suspect. Suddenly I think, he is not going to let me on the plane. Maybe you should empty your backpack, Thomas. I slide the backpack off my shoulder and squat on the ground. He isn't taking his eyes off me for a minute. Another guy comes over, looks at me, and then whispers something into his ear. He nods and shows this guy my passport and airplane ticket. The guy walks away. My t-shirt is sticking to my armpits. Everything is on the floor. Then I see the pale blue information booklet and the letter is sticking out of it. Here it is. I hand it to him. I am still squatting, waiting. He looks at it, reads it. Okay, put your stuff back in. I jam everything into the backpack and stand up. You packed your suitcase? I did. Did anyone give you a gift or a package or any item to deliver when you arrive? No. You are sure about that? Yes. Do you have any relatives in Israel? No, I am not Jewish. I want him to believe me. He looks at me like he don't. For your information, there are non-Jews living in Israel. There are Christians, Muslims, Greek Orthodox, Druze. Do you want me to continue? He don't. Wait for my answer. He looks at me, lifts the suitcase, turns it around, sees the yellow security sticker, puts it down. Do you speak Arabic? Arabic? No, of course I don't know Arabic. All right. I am just asking. Well, I don't know Arabic and I don't know Hebrew. I speak German, like. We are talking now, right? In English. By now I am sure I am not going anywhere. In an hour I'll probably be back home. The people in line behind me are staring at me, like I have a rash, like they were going to catch something from me. No one is missing a single one of his questions or my answers. And then suddenly he hands back my passport, my ticket, and the kibbutz letter. Don't smile, just says, okay, you can go. It is over. He starts questioning the person in line behind me. Whatever he thought of me, of my passport, of what I looked like, it is history now. I can get on the plane. 5:45 a.m. Thomas Wanninger Flight 01. The seatbelt sign blinks red, the airplane engines start to roar. The plane begins to taxi. The flight attendants are walking down the aisle, chatting with passengers, adjusting overhead bins, checking seatbelts. Somewhere in the front of the plane a baby is squealing and then beginning to cry. I see the mother start to get up, but the flight attendant points to the lit seatbelt sign. She sits down again. I am watching and listening to everything. I am hyped up. Everything around me looks like it is in fluorescent lights, and sounds are funneling through me on high volume. I am going to a place I don't know to find out something that no one at home knows, and if anyone thinks I am calm, they were wrong. I've flown only once before, on a school ski trip. But it isn't the same this time. I'll be entering a war zone. And I am alone. There are flight announcements about the altitude of the plane, the weather, and perfume and cigarettes that will be sold duty-free. Maybe I'll buy money a bottle of perfume. My mother likes scent. Then the pilot announces the estimated time of arrival. The plane reaches the end of the runway and lifts off, tilting away from the ground slowly with almost no angle. It is 6 o'clock in the morning. 4 more hours and I'll land in Israel. The announcement continues. Local Israeli time is 1 hour ahead. I changed the time on my watch. I've left German time behind. I have the whole road to myself. I stretch my legs and stare out the window. The plane is cruising over the city. Berlin is concealed behind a thin veil of rain. Through the morning darkness I can see the dots of highway lights and the snaking line of traffic. Muddy must be in her car, driving in one of those lanes leading away from the airport. She probably wants to go back home. She hates an empty house. If I know her, She LL go to the office, or travel to one of the branches of Hanseatic Insurance, or schedule a meeting with her boss. Muddy has to be busy. She says, when I work, I forget. The plane starts a steep climb, moves through clusters of clouds, and then pulls out into clear sky. Past my own reflection in the window, it's all blue air. The color of early morning. Beyond the wing, the blue is beginning to lighten. Somewhere the morning has started. It will be late morning when I arrive. The engines become a monotonous drone. I unzip my backpack and take out the pamphlet. I don't bother unfolding it. I read it and stared at the pictures 100 times. The green rolling Judean hills, the distant outlines of Jerusalem, the orderly row of red-roofed kibbutz houses, the auditorium, the guest hostel where I'll be staying. 2. Myself, and only to myself, I am willing to admit I am scared out of my mind. Not to Muddy, not to Rudy, even though he is my best buddy, and certainly not to Christina. The time off from school wasn't tough to get. The principal is really hot on us. Going to Israel. No generation of Germans should forget is his motto. The real reason I am going is my business. And I can't be a coward. So here I am, about to land in a country where bombs go off every 5 seconds. Why am I doing this? Because I am looking for information about a Nazi. My grandfather. One more time I read the letter I showed the security guy. Shalom, Thomas. Welcome to the Sikh program at Kibbutz Brashim, located outside Jerusalem. Our mailing address is Kibbutz Brashim, Dorna 832, Jerusalem, Israel. Since you indicated an interest in agricultural work, we have arranged for you to work in the hothouses and plant nursery. Kibbutz Brashim exports flowers, and your help will be greatly appreciated. You will be instructed by Baruch Bentov, a very experienced gardener. I reread the instructions for what I am supposed to do when I land, though I know them by heart. After landing and passing through passport control, look for someone holding a Sikh sign. This will be Vera Brodsky, who lives at Kibbutz Brashim and will be your buddy during your stay. Vera will be waiting for you inside the arrivals terminal of the airport. In case of any change, call 02-994-3242. I shift around in the seat and feel the bulge in the back pocket of my jeans. The airplane ticket and passport. I forgot to put them back in the zippered pouch of my backpack. That is all I need to lose my ticket and passport. The passport is dark red with a stiff cover and a gold embossed eagle in the center. Printed underneath the eagle emblem, in big letters, is Bundesrepublik Deutschland. I run my fingers over the spread. Wings. Eagles are birds of prey, aren't they? Why does a German passport have an eagle on the cover? Was my grandfather a bird of prey, waiting to lunge and capture, maybe to kill? I flip open my passport to the inside page. Familien name Wanninger. Name Thomas. Staatsanhörigkeit Deutsch. Geburtsort Berlin. The photo at the left of the typed information is me, unsmiling, brown eyes opened wide by the flash of the camera, short hair, and part of the white t-shirt. A high school kid who looks older than 16, at least that is what people tell me. 6:45 a.m. Interrogation room, police headquarters, Jerusalem. Police officer, you understand you were not under arrest, Don, T.U. Omar Julani, if you say so. Police officer, of course we say so. Why would we lie? We just want information. You live in the same village as Sam Elaham, right? Omar Julani, no, in Jabal fam. And you know it. You know everything. But we go to the same high school. When there is no curfew. It is our last year. Police officer, why aren't you in school today? Omar Julani, how can I be in school if you brought me here? Anyway, I don't go to school. Instead I work. I study at night. Police officer, and Sameh. Does he also study at night? Omar Julani, I don't know what Sameh does. But I study all night. Police officer, do you study bomb making? Omar Julani, no, I study history. Who did what to whom? How the Jews keep the myth of the Holocaust going while they do genocide to us. Police officer, congratulations, you probably got 100 in history. So, getting back to your best friend. You don't know what he does. Omar Julani, I am his friend, not his guard. That is your job. Me, I study. And I work. Police officer, good, that means you are a smart boy and a strong boy. You look strong, really strong. Omar Julani, I am not that strong. I mean, I won't be able to do anything violent, that is. Police officer, so you were just into books, right? You never touch knives. or guns, do you? Omar Julani, I don't touch them or see them. I swear by Allah. I start shaking my whole body when I even think of someone being hurt. And Sama too, he wouldn't harm anyone. His Jewish boss loves him like a son, like his own son. Police officer, oh, he has a Jewish boss. Now that interests us. Where is this Jewish boss? Omar Julani, I don't know. It is illegal to hire us. Don't think I am stupid. Police officer, so you don't know where the Jewish boss is, what his business is. Do you know where the bomb factory is? You know about bombs, don't you? Your buddy, Rashid, said you were the best student in chemistry class. Omar Julani, Rashid is a liar and a stinking little thief. You have him in jail, and he'll say anything. Police officer, he says you know how to explode bombs, Omar. He says you have a real touch with them. You get high as if you were on drugs when you make them. Omar Julani, you are trying to get me to say I am one of those, Shahid. I want to say it. I am not. I sell vegetables with my grandfather. Police officer, where's Sama? Omar Julani, I told you, I don't know. Go to the Jewish man who is his boss. Police officer, we don't know who that is. No one ever heard of Sama. So, Omar, it seems your best friend has disappeared. Police officer, 3 days and no one knows where he is. Omar Julani, Sama has a cousin in a village near Jerusalem. Maybe he went there. Police officer, what is the name of the village? Omar Julani, I can't remember. Police officer, try very hard. Omar Julani, please let me go home. I am sure Sama will show up today. ULLC. Police officer, why do you say that? Why are you so sure? Omar Julani, they are without food in his family. He must work. Police officer, we can keep you longer, you know that. Omar Julani, I know that. But I know nothing. Nothing. Please. Police officer, release him. 6:45 a.m. Baruch Ben Tov Kibbutz Brashim, Jadin Hills. The boy from Germany is coming today. His arrival throws me back into the past. He is not the first German student to come here, but he is the first who will work in the flower fields and hothouses. The first who will be under my supervision. Of course I was consulted. Will you mind working with a German boy, Baruch? I was asked. No, of course not, I answered. I am a member of the kibbutz and will do my share. But I am uneasy. What will this Thomas Wanninger say when he sees the number on my arm? Will he foolishly apologize? Will he speak to me in German? Does he know I speak German? It is an intrusion in my life. I will speak to him in English. The sun has risen, warming the air and making the last of the night sky very light. I hear the birds speak to each other, the dew hangs transparent from each petal, the sprinklers whir in the still spring air. I always walk up and down the rows of sunflowers at this hour. No one is here. I can say, Rachel, and no one hears me. Her name's my morning prayer. Rachel was wonderful with her hands. She would have planted sunflowers and dahlias, petunias, daisies, everything. Even in the room under the roof. She painted flowers on the enamel plates we ate from. Her hands were like the wind and her imagination endless. She turned the attic into her palace. What she would have made of this solitary place, this small house I live in. And books, goodness, how she loved books. She would smile to see me. Now, not the professor of anthropology I wanted to be, but the simple gardener. If she were here, she would lead me by the hand to my shelf of poetry books. And she'd recite the poems of Goethe, the German poems we both learned in school. Remember, she'd certainly say, and laugh if I couldn't remember. Some lines are the teacher who taught us. But she is not here. She was buried 50 feet from the wall that closed us in. Surrounded us, in the old cemetery of the ghetto. The Germans bulldozed it, looking for tunnels. God only knows where her body is now. All of us who hid in the attic that night had to run for our lives. I wrapped her body in the flowered-down comforter, her and the baby together. Vladik and I timed the German patrols, waiting for them to pass through our street. When we heard the steps of their heavy boots fade away, we dared to creep out of the attic and down the stairs. We dug the grave in the muddy soil between the sewer pipes and the wall. There was almost no time to hold her and the baby, seconds only. No time to recite the words of Kaddish, the prayer for the dead. Only time enough for those 6 words I'd known since I was a child, Shema Israel, Adonai, Eloheinu, Adonai Ahad. Thomas Wanninger will arrive this afternoon. I will be polite and considerate to him. After all, I have not lost my senses. He is a young man, he is not too Blame for my past. 6:45 a.m. Sama Laham Zebdid, Palestinian Authority. When I got my hands in the grease and food scraps of the stinking sink full of dishes, I talked to myself. This is what you will be doing when you 23, Sama, and 24. Forever, probably. You'll be washing the floor, scrubbing the marks left by soldiers' boots. Is this what you will be doing, Sama? No, Sama, you will not be doing this. You will do something brave and heroic. You will save your mother's life, and your sisters and your brothers will remember you forever. I know the fields that lead back to the diner. I know them like the narrow streets of my village. I could be blindfolded and still find my way to Zebdid, to the intersection, to Jerusalem. My mind is a map of bushes I can hide behind, gullies I can drop into, holes in the barbed wire I can squeeze through, boulders I can roll to cover a cave. I know all of these. I am the Lord of this territory. It is mine, no one else's. Omar is a pal of mine from school. He is from Jebel Fam. He was the best soccer player in our class. Quick as a fox and eyes that saw all the moves on the field. I should have been born in Brazil, he always said. I would have been greater than Pelé. He said it so often we started to call him Pelé. Last month, when I came back home, zigzagging around the blockades, proud I defueled those little soldiers, he laughed at me. You want to be a hero, he said, listen to me. And he told me about his idea, an idea that would make me a hero. It's almost 7. The boss called Omar with a message, tell Sama he's still got his job if he comes back today. Today I'll go back to work.